It's a wonderful day in West Virginia. Welcome to the Daily 304 Innovators and Entrepreneurs feature. Here at the Daily 304, we are committed to sharing the wealth, beauty, opportunity, and innovation that's here in wonderful Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Today, we are joined by Nate Wimer. He's one of the CEOs behind the company Brite. Their team is working to remove barriers in the classroom and create a dialogue between school faculty and students. Nate, thank you for being here on the Daily 304.
Andy, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Nate, we first learned about you and your company and your effort up at Bridging Innovations in Wheeling recently. Could you tell us a little bit about what problem your product solves for the education system?
Yeah, so we're actually solving three separate problems. So the first being universities across the country are actually in a financial crisis. And that's really just because there's decreased student enrollment and increased dropout rates. The less students that are actually in college, the less revenue that these universities are making. And so there is a vital need to retain the students that universities already have. And so to mitigate this said problem, universities actually are gathering lots of data metrics on their students and how they learn. But we interviewed lots of university administrators, and apparently they actually don't know how their students are engaged in class. They're essentially blind. They don't have any data on how their students are performing in classrooms and how they're engaged. And so that's one problem, right? The second problem is we actually interviewed 30 or 40 professors across WVU, TCU, and Denison University. These professors are only getting student feedback one time at the very end of every single semester. So by the time they actually get the student feedback, the students who need the adjustment most had either already failed or dropped the course.
It's too late.
Which is, it's too late. It's a huge problem.
Okay.
And so then the last problem is actually one that I have experienced myself, and many other students are in the same boat. We sit in large lecture halls as college students. We're confused about something. We need to ask a question, but we're too afraid to speak up and ask because we think we have a dumb question and that others will judge us. And so we hold back. And so the big problem is that whenever you don't ask, you don't learn. Basically, we wanted to help. And so that's why we created Brite, which is an app that helps professors better understand their students' academic struggles in real time. And so how it works is essentially, if you're a student, you're in your college classroom, you have a question that you're too afraid to speak up and ask, you can anonymously post the question on the app, because we want to make sure every single student has a voice in the classroom. And we also want to increase class discussion so we can increase learning. That solves the student problems. And so for the professors, we actually provide them a professor dashboard where they can view student feedback and engagement data analytics so they can understand their students' academic needs like never before using AI. So we can essentially shine a light into classrooms and show them how engaged their students are. We can show them what works and what doesn't. And so they can go in and identify these trends and then implement the right trends university-wide to help retain students.
Wow, so you're giving professors data, you're removing a social barrier so more people can ask questions, and you're getting that earlier in the process so I don't get to the end of the class and I'm lost and I'm done. Instead, you're gonna help save and that attrition rate will be less. That's amazing. Are there any schools that are interested in, or that you're already spoken with that are interested in your product?
Yeah, and so just to try to gauge the situation better, we've interviewed 30, 40 professors across multiple universities. And so from these interviews, we've actually locked in 2,000 beta testing students across WVU's nursing department, freshman engineering program, as well as select business classes. And so they're all going to use our app next fall. We can run this beta test for free to these departments so we can really just tailor the product towards what they want before gradually scaling, right? And then something else is our team actually went and pitched at TCU's Values and Ventures competition down in Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. And after we pitched, there were actually professors in the audience that came up to us afterwards and said, this is a phenomenal idea. Like this is a huge problem and we would love to use this. And so we have a waiting list right now. We're developing the app this summer and then gradually working our way up. So the feedback that we've gotten is phenomenal.
You found a hot button out there and you're solving a problem that's obviously everywhere. Wow, congratulations. And you also had a financial motivator that the last competition, what happened at Bridging Innovations?
Yeah, so we asked the judges for $40,000, and we earned that at West Virginia's business plan competition. And that money will really launch us forward, help us achieve our goals. It will help us build our product this summer. We've actually hired 3 interns to help us, as well as we have 2 other co-founders that are going to be working on this as well full time this summer. They turned down internships. And so, yeah, that money is really beneficial, and it will actually get our app in classrooms so students can use it, professors can use it, and everyone can benefit from it.
Tell me a little bit about, you're a native West Virginia, you're from Morgantown. What do you do when you're not studying or building the next solution to educational quality?
Yeah, no. So as you said, I am from Morgantown, West Virginia native. And so I've seen a lot of what West Virginia can offer. And so I love getting outdoors, hiking, biking, skiing, fishing, you name it. I've backpacked Dolly Sods, Chimney Top is phenomenal, Spruce Knob. Really just try to get outdoors and really just enjoy West Virginia beauty. Definitely think that if you guys haven't seen a lot of these things that WV has to offer, you got to go check them out. I don't do it enough now that I feel like I never have enough time due to Brite, but that's not a bad problem.
At least it's close. You can just drive for an hour and you're out, a half hour, you're at Cooper's Rock State Forest. So that's wonderful, wonderful. We have a feature here called Innovation Corner, where we ask our guests like you to share a piece of advice, the thing that keeps you going, the thing when things don't look like they're working out that you just keep going. What would you share with our listeners and our viewers about entrepreneurship and innovation and how to keep going?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think that whenever you start off, it's really hard, right? Starting is the hardest part. And so motivation only gets you so far. You're going to hit those roadblocks. You're going to hit those slumps, just where you're tired. You don't feel like doing anything. So my advice to people is to definitely find a mentor or a group of like-minded individuals who can just support you throughout your journey. And then the second piece of advice I do have, instead of saying one day I'll do this, just make it day one. Just get after it, because it's better to try and fail than live and regret later on in life. So definitely just try it out. That's definitely my biggest piece of advice.
You and your co-CEOs are certainly wise folks, surrounding yourself with like-minded people and getting started and acting. So I challenge you, go fishing this weekend, would you? Go ahead and do it.
I'd love that. Thank you, Andy.
Take time for yourself. Yeah. Great work. Congratulations. Real quickly for our viewers and listeners, how can they connect with you and learn more about your product and the solution that you're providing to higher education?
You guys can check us out at www.brite.company. So that's www.brite.company. You can find us on LinkedIn or social media. Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me. This was a great experience.
Nate, thank you so much for joining us. Find him on LinkedIn, connect with him as he connects professors to students moving forward and improving education at all levels. So Nate, thank you so much for joining us today on the Daily 304.
Thanks, Andy.
And thank you for watching. Be sure to follow us on all our social media channels at the Daily 304. You can also stay up to date with all the great things happening in beautiful, almost heaven, West Virginia by heading on over to wv.gov/daily304. And don't forget, you can get free resources for your business with many of our government services like the WV SBDC, West Virginia Business Link, and the West Virginia Department of Economic Development. We'll see you again next time.